Hey, it's D&D. Oh, look, the outside world's leaking in. Camera must have drifted. There we go. Get rid of that. It looks like everything is fine. Everyone is making sounds and it's all picking up. I'm very happy. Uh, Last session, you guys began the sort of journey back to Amaraj in order to get back on the train and head back to the academy. Your mission is, for all intents and purposes, complete. On the way back, however, Clara spotted a flash of heavy crystal usage that kind of correlated to the tower up on the mountain that you guys passed by on the way here. The next day, heading to check it out, there was an upside down inverted crashed airship, its engines sputtering and firing and all that, all sorts of unpleasant problems going on with it. Having looked around the ship and checked it out, you sort of managed to work out that it was most likely attacked by the paladins. You managed to save someone by the name of Adamsier. And then as you guys were sort of leaving the crashed airship, you were ambushed and attacked from a distance by, according to Axel, as far as he was concerned, deceased EK. That opened fire on you with a fully automatic scoped weapon. And you guys made a mad dash with distraction tactics and cover in order to escape from the rain of bullets, and yet still were Axel took quite a beating, and a few other people I think may have got chipped. I think Adhira got crit on that first shot and so on.
Orban did as well.
And you guys managed to get away from the immediate line of sight when Axel kind of turned towards you all and said that you basically need to proceed as if you're being pursued. At this point, you all find yourself in a pretty dense section of forest. It's 2 days back to town, where you can get on your train and get the hell out of here. However, you do have a somewhat injured, somewhat worn down civilian with you. As you're all kind of in this secluded spot, you see Axel looking around at each of you, kind of quietly taking stock of how people look, how quick he can think, he can move himself. You can see the slight shine of worry on his face as he's taking into account everything. He looks at Adamsier and says, I'm going to need to be honest discussing the situation with my team. I'm going to say some things that are going to sound disparaging of you, but I want you to know that it is purely for the talk of realism in terms of what is about to happen. And then he looks at you guys and says, we're not going to be able to outrun him if he is pursuing us while we're supporting an injured civilian, which means our priority should be covering our tracks and moving as stealthily as possible. I don't think, if it comes to a fight, that things will go our way with ease.
Daper is just looking at him, nodding, being like, fighting him is a dumb idea regardless, and he was always been of this opinion. Oh, not happening.
That said, whenever we stop and rest, we need to be thinking about setting up an ambush, because if it does manage to follow us and we have to fight, then we need to be in a position where we have the best possible chance of at least dissuading and pushing them back.
And here his eyes are going to quietly glance over at Clara, glance up at a tree, glance back at Axel.
Weaver's face is getting very unpleasant at the mere suggestion that we even consider the idea of fighting him.
He'll look at you, Dave, and say, priority 1, move away, don't get found. But if it fails, we're not just going to stand there and let him kill us.
Would it be better to get the civilian out so we don't have to worry about dragging him around, and then we just have to worry about covering our own tracks?
Looks at you and says, how are we going to...
Fastest person, grab him, go. We worry about the track covering ourselves.
I could try putting him in the lamp.
I mean, who is
how long
capable
can you
of
keep
carrying
in the
him?
lamp?
Who is capable of carrying him in an extended amount of time and an extended distance? Who has the necessary endurance? I think that's either Axel or me.
Axel nods and says, I can. I just... leaving you as a group behind... I'm uncomfortable with the idea. I should be there in case.
In case an ambush happens and it all goes south, we can die happy together?
If anyone is going to put up enough of a fight to dissuade Stryker from... at least push them back, you are all very capable, but it is me.
So, if anyone were to take our civilian and run ahead, I'd be the person to do it.
Oh no.
You see Axel
Because
chewing on the inside of his cheek, mulling it over, trying to work out if it is a good idea or not, lost in his head, trying to work out.
How close are we to the tracks?
To the tracks themselves, it's about a day out. We can follow the line, but that will add more time to our journey. We'll be, instead of heading southeast, we'll be heading straight east and then south, if you see what I mean.
We have to go through the dogwoods again.
You already went through the dogwoods in order to get to the airship. So you're on the other side of that.
Okay.
What I can tell you is, in terms of resources, there's not much more I can provide. I have my endurance going for me. I'm not really running on fumes or anything. And I can, if he gets a really decent enough shot, I can flare my aura up enough to negate that twice. That's pretty much it.
Anyone got anything in their backpack that might be of use? Something we can leave behind? Improvised weapon of any kind? Now is the time to say it, so we know what we're working with.
Flashbang, but I don't know if we can use that anything other than a warning. Early alert.
Flashbang. Okay.
The only thing I have is my warding bond and aid crystal, as well as, I doubt my weaponry is of use for any of you, other than maybe Uther, and I don't think he would want to operate this.
Clara is going to pull out a hunting horn from her backpack. I have this. I think we got it in the caves. It summons a steed. So, I don't suppose anyone else out here is actually that good at mounted combat. But I could take a Damshir. The problem is then you're all just kind of left in the lurch.
How long does it last? The steed, I mean.
If we can get him
question.
back on this steed, I think that frees us up to move as fast as we can.
if it lasts long enough, I think it's a really good shot at speeding up our travel process. Let's say.
It does not appear to have a listed duration.
I think it's the same as the Spectral Steed spell, which off the top of my head is an hour, but it's very
Which item was it?
it's very quick.
If it's Phantom Steed, then it's an hour.
Phantom
I wasn't
Steed.
sure if it was that or Find Steed,
I think it's Phantom.
because
if
they
I
both
reckon.
kind of do the same job.
Yeah, Spectral Seed in the shape of an elf hunting a horn figurine.
I mean, it can travel very
50
quickly.
miles an hour?
Yeah, it's fast.
100 Yeah.
Hmm?
Axel thinks.
I think it's worth like a single travel with this thing is worth like what 4 times as much on like jogging on foot.
Axel nods and says, I think the only 2 people who have proficiency riding horseback is probably Clara and Caliban, unless one of you is holding out on me here.
I've seen horses in a picture book.
I know
Gotcha.
how to ride on the back of a gecko, but I don't think they're going to.
Probably some transferable skills, but not perfectly so.
No, wait. I like
Horses
did
don't
how
do good on mountains.
I
You
feel
did
like a gecko is a very low to the ground.
That's
kind of
very
like-
true, yes.
Like you're going more side to side than up down.
Wait, who mentioned horses?
Axel sort of mentioned that you're probably someone who can ride a horse, I think is what he said.
I do have the summon steed spell.
You do?
what
You,
the
you told me to take it.
Did I? When was that?
Yes.
That must have been months ago. I don't remember saying that any time recently. Axel
Is that Napoleon pose from Caliban?
Axel thinks for a moment, it's like with two separate ways of speeding up our travel, this might be more doable after all. We can split who takes a Damsir on which mount. If we have either Clara or Caliban for the first half of the day and for the second half of the day, swap them. That should free us all up to move as quickly as we're possibly able to. In fact, we'll be the liabilities in that case, I believe. But we can at least still move as a group, and we're much closer to... I remember Stryker being someone who would emplace himself, like time to set up in advance. Pursuit, as far as I remember, was not his strong suit. We should have a much better chance this way.
So that leaves. Who would be going with Caliban?
No, we'll all move together. If one person rides with the Damsir, we'll keep together. It's safer that we can do it that way. With that, Axel will stand up and basically says, which one of you wants to ride first?
I think Caliban should ride first. I'm more likely to run out of stamina.
That's... Plus, I assume the horn will make a loud noise. I don't know if you ever used it before.
I think it's
I
figurine.
haven't. I would presume you could mute it. Like, not
True.
mute the sound, but you know, like you would with a trumpet.
Mm-hmm. Put something in there to muffle it. Makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Caliban, why don't you start us off? That will also help. Clara is one of our best pathfinders, so free her up to find us on a good path, maybe.
will you need from me?
Tell me what kind of horse you want to conjure with the crystal. What does it look like, Caliban?
Shetland pony.
Shetland pony.
Let's see. Assuming an unoccupied space within range, the steed takes on a form that you can choose, such as a war horse, a pony, a camel, an elk, or a mastiff.
You remember, you need to have 2 people on it, so don't choose a mastiff. As much as I'd love to see Caliban surfing a dog.
I guess just a war horse. That seems like.
Does it come with the riding gear or not? I actually don't.
Your steed serves you as a mount both in combat and out. Also, if your steed has an intelligence of 5 or less, its intelligence becomes 6, and it gains the ability to understand one language of your choice that you speak.
What language would you like your horse to understand, Caliban?
I mean, it makes sense if it's trade, but
Okay.
it would be funny if it was just something that
Just only Caliban could speak. Yeah. The crystal pulses with energy, and the first thing you see is like the wireframe of the animal, like the spinal column, the legs on it, and then it starts to sort of like fill in from there, expanding outward. You see the musculature until eventually a fully formed warhorse is there. Brilliant white steed, long flowing mane that matches Caliban's hair. The eyes give a slight pulse of green that then settles down into a soft purple glow that matches the color of Crysthalm. A very intelligent horse. It sort of trots forward towards you, Caliban, and lowers itself for you to climb on. I didn't read anything about climbing gear, so I think the fact that you are trained to ride horses is probably very important here.
Oh, you're riding it without gear.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's summoned as a steed, so I'm pretty sure it comes with.
Let me double check again, but
We're not that on that.
You have an intuitive bod that allows you to fight as a seamless unit. I think that
No gear, just
yeah,
one.
no gear, but the 2 of you are very in sync, Caliban.
But you would still get that, like, every time that thing gallops, you get the back of the horse slammed into your...
It's okay. Caliban will adapt. Adamsia might have a rough time of this, but...
I'm going to surf a fucking horse.
I mean, the easy solution there is just throw your, like, sleeping mat on its back or something.
Yeah.
That is true.
You put some amount of cushioning there as you mount it up.
You know how there are like bindings on on a sleeping mat, so like when you roll it up, it stays there.
Yes.
You could
you could use that to like strap it. Yeah. You guys managed to improvise some cushioning for both Caliban and Adamsia. Adamsia being helped up onto the horse by Axel, who like wraps his arms around you, Caliban, very tightly as he's holding onto you. This is a man whose life revolves around like engines and steam and pistons. This very odd conjured horse is very alien to him as he gets on.
That's fucking useless. Thank you, Wizards of the Coast.
What is it?
The official word from one of the designers of D&D is it's up to the DM if Fine Steed also summons it with a sound.
I think we've committed now. I'm past it. We're in here now. It's just the horse in this instance here. We'll see if you guys can add some runes to it later down the line to also include the bit and tackle and so on.
Hi-ho, Silver, away!
Is it a silver war horse? Does it match your colors?
It absolutely does. Like white hair, silver mane. Bursting from the brush, you move out and sort of like from the deep, dense forest away slightly. Axel face palms as Caliban rides forth. Looks at...
He's not for stealth operations, you know this.
Very true. He does like them to know he's coming. We should split ourselves up into people who are looking for a way forward and people who are covering our path from behind.
I would volunteer for the cover-up track thing because I believe I have the wherewithal to to spot our tracks and cover them.
Mm-hmm.
My argument is my investigation score plus my thingy.
The tactical interface, yeah. Okay, so Dayfra is going to make sure you guys aren't leaving too many tracks. Anyone else?
I would like to help with that with the argument of I have a good deception score.
Yeah, gotcha. You want to like try and leave like false paths and tracks basically as you're going. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
I will go ahead because I have maybe not. I don't have any modifiers to investigation. I have +1 to perception, but I am fast.
You have...
And that gives me extra time.
Decent stealth as well, right, Atira?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then, Clara, I assume you're on survival.
Yeah, I will be pathfinding.
Okay. What does Axel want to do in all of this? I think he's going to assist you in the pathfinding as well, Clara. So you'll have advantage on... So we get a survival check at advantage from Clara. Adhira, you can give me stealth or perception or acrobatics.
If anyone's like me, you might want to untick any pass without trace bonus and just stop.
Okay, so that's a 15 total, is that, Clara? Oh, no, sorry.
With the advantage, it's 17.
17. Adhira, that's a 16.
It's so good.
Dayfra, investigation with advantage because of the tactical interface. 26. And, sorry, Uther, that you were helping Dayfra, yeah. Oh, no, sorry, your deception check, was it? Sorry.
Yeah.
That's 17 as well, yeah. Okay. Give me 1 second. Uh, 9. Okay. So. Clara. Looking ahead, the terrain that you've got is like forest, hills that slope up, and then it goes to like hard stone mountains. Looking at it, there are pathways you can take that basically lead you over sturdier surfaces that will be like, it's harder to leave a track in like solid stone and you know, other things like that where the dirt is a little hardier as well. These areas are more out in the open, however, so less tracks, but more vulnerable for long sight lines. And then you've got more forested areas that you're more used to, that you think you'd be quicker traveling through, that has shorter sight lines. But, you know, every broken twig, every footstep that's left, it's going to be more obvious through the brush of a forest. It's also a little harder for Caliban to navigate the trees, although not impossible. And he's probably slowing down anyway, because not all of you guys are going to keep up with a horse for like half a day anyway. So I guess the question comes to you, Clara. What would you prefer to go for? The like more open to sightline but harder to track areas, or the more forested area?
I'm gonna go with more forested, both for the reasons of we have a lot of people on cleanup duty, I suppose, who are trying to like obfuscate our tracks, but also that entirely becomes irrelevant if we're just plodding out in the open and he happens to see us through the lens of his super sniper rifle.
Absolutely fair. You continue the route basically kind of in a straight line. You guys move from copse of trees to copse of trees, managing to get as much cover as possible, and making your way back towards safety. Dafer, there's a lot of debris and other things that you can identify. You're able to, like, with the help of Uther as well, who's able to, like, go additional pathways, move around, break things in other areas, creating kind of a wider swath of evidence. The harder part for you, Dafer, is the hoof prints of the horse kind of dig quite deep into some of the dirt. Is there anything in particular you'd want to do to try and mask the path the horse has taken? The footsteps is somewhat easier for you to handle, but is there anything in particular Dafer would try?
I mean, let me double check what rune stamps I have. I can't really do like the runes I can imprint here are not going to be effective on this ground. It's not metal and it's not stone. So the earth is just gonna fill in and ruin the rune array. I can't stamp on stuff. I could stamp on like over the hoof and then in random areas to like make sure it's visible there was something here, but not if it's just me stamping randomly.
Yeah, I think using sort of like the more shockwavy attacks that you've got, you like flatten sections of ground, in some sense completely erasing evidence, in another sense leaving like an impact crater of it, right? Like they can tell someone's been here, but not the direction they're going or anything like that. As you manage to like clear out areas, Adhera, with your acrobatics moving a little ahead. Sometimes when you guys get into like the larger forested areas, because the horse has to slow down, you're the thing that is most at the front, right, Adhera? Once you get to one of the tree lines about halfway through the day's travel, you can see a river that runs down from the mountain that you remember crossing over on your way here. There's a old but sturdy stone bridge that you can see that you guys passed over. And in a distance, as you're looking at it, you can see that there is a congregation of people at the bridge. Give me a perception check. Perception check, please, Adhera. 12. There's the glint of armor. You're maybe like a mile out. But it looks like, you know, like medieval style soldiers, maybe wearing chainmail, and they've got tall spears with like pike heads that are catching the sun as well. On a 12, you don't see any like bright colors or anything like that. So they're not wearing... You remember when you were in Amaraj, there was like the soldiers all wear like the word I'm looking for is livery, like colors, like bright depictions of livery, yeah, like whatever house they belong to, you know, whatever unit they belong to. These individuals aren't wearing bright colors at all. It looks like it's just armor, and there are some individuals amongst them that look much more lightly armored. not leather, but more like just like heavier fabrics that are much more. They look more suited for like hiding in the kind of forests and grasslands, and yet they all seem to be positioned up on this bridge at present in the distance. You could see in here, Adhira.
Obviously waiting for something. Like I don't see like them like lounging or anyone like sitting down or
There's
having,
some
like,
of
fire
that.
going.
There's some like lounging around. They don't seem to be looking in any particular direction. You'd say it here. They're like on the bridge, looking both ways, right? Like they're waiting for something from either direction or from both directions. It's like a mixture of being on guard, but also being aware they're going to be there for a long time. So they're sort of like on guard casually is probably how I would describe it.
I think with her background, Adhira doesn't trust that. And sort of recoiling. I'm up on top of a tree, or I'm able to see it through a break in the trees.
You absolutely can be either of these things. You can be like up perched in a tree somewhere between like two trees taking a look, or lower down. Wherever you want to be, Atira, that's where you are.
I will be up on the tree.
Okay.
Before I go back down, can I swivel my head in the direction we came and just stare for like 3 minutes?
You want to
Maybe
just see if you see anything coming behind you? Is that okay. Yeah, give me a perception check.
Any sign. I see one bird taking flight. It's all over. Oh!
Adhira, there is a bird in the distance that catches your attention. At first, you don't think too much of it. However, it is a seagull, as far as you can tell. Something that has caught the drift of wind and is sort of holding its position in the air over the landscape, and it seems to be just kind of hovering there, using the wind to keep it aloft. Normally, that's not the weirdest thing ever. That's normally how seagulls behave. However, you are so far from the seaside here, and this is the first time you've seen a gull in this area, so it stands out to you.
First time I've seen a gull ever.
That might be true.
I recognize it from my pirate books.
Yeah, I think people would talk about them as well where you're from, as a lot of traders come into port. So, but yeah, you do see this.
They have distinct wings. That fills her with that sort of sense of dread you get from Uncanny Valley. Something that's there but should not be there. And she is going to slide back down the tree and run over to Axel and ask, just a hypothetical, what is Stryker's favorite bird, if you had to guess?
Narrows his eyebrows, says, probably a bird of prey, something with good sight, I would think.
Okay. There's a seagull floating in the air about a bit ways away, behind us. I don't think we're anywhere near the ocean. It's just hanging there, watching.
Could be a familiar.
There's also Min on the bridge that we came from, or that we passed through coming here. But I didn't see any recognizable colors. They're just sort of standing guard.
Thinks for a moment, says, was there a banner flying?
Oh.
It's been a while since I went to field against Trismerian soldiers, but they should be carrying a banner.
Yeah, I don't like it. I'm gonna say we just cross over the river a bit further down from them the hard way. Just to be safe.
He looks at the horse, looks at the group, says, Probably could make the fjording. We'd have to find a spot where the river runs a little less rapid. But maybe that is...
I can carry my friend.
That's... What do you think? Probably better than causing a fuss on the bridge.
Sounds good to me. I'm not particularly willing to take another chance.
How do our sharpshooters feel about this bird as well?
I can try and take it down, or send something up to meet it, but that might be just as good as giving us away.
If you make it look like a local bird, it could just be mistaken as predation, maybe?
Maybe. I still have the hawk.
It also depends on where you let it start up from. If you manage to have it, I don't know, move along the ground for a while, somewhere further away from us, and have it start up from there, then it could actually lead as a decent deception.
I like the idea of a local predator. That does give us some deniability.
Okay. Just be aware, if we're crossing the water, the chances of me being able to fight with any level of efficacy are next to zero. If we get caught out in the strand, especially if we're in a place of reasonable current, not even a high one, we're going to be sitting ducks.
It's okay. I'll also carry you if I need to.
Why don't we... Let's
That's
try and...
not the point I was trying to make, but thanks.
Let's try and deal with our potential spy first, and then we can use that to inform our decision to cross or not. Clara, conjuring a hawk?
Yeah, I will activate the Find Familiar in my weapon again.
A hawk appears on a nearby tree, appears in place. Anything, I suppose you want as normal a looking hawk as possible, right, Clara?
Yeah, nothing that's going to, like, stand out.
Okay. What kind of instruction would you like to give it?
I am going to tell it to wait for... It's a reasonable amount of time. I'm going to say wait for 5 minutes. Any longer, I think it's not going to be as useful. Any sooner, I think it might give us away. So I'm going to tell it to wait for 5 minutes and then fly up and... I suppose I will tell it to fly up and begin circling the seagull. I don't want it to just straight up attack, because first of all, that's not very bird behavior, but also it might give me a chance to see what we're working with.
I think the hawk somewhat following these, like, conjured instincts. There's a certain amount of ability that this hawk has intrinsic, despite being a conjured being, that it manages to, like, slip out and up and gets to a pretty lofty height in order to begin circling. Give me a perception check. I think it has a +3.
Okay.
Oh, and it has advantage.
Right, and so on, yeah. Do you get the +1
9.
before?
9. No, I don't think the hawk would get the +1d4 on this. It begins to circle. You do see this gull through the eyes of the hawk. It's a little difficult because it keeps slipping in and out of range for you being able to see through it. Like, as it's circling, as it gets to the closest point to you, you get vision, and as it gets further away, you lose it again. On a 9, the gull is sort of like... There's something odd about the way it's hanging there, Clara. It is moving forward slowly, but there's something that feels odd about, like, how slowly it's drifting forward. If it wanted to be optimal about searching for you guys, it would be moving around more than this. So it's almost like, for whatever reason, it is doing things unoptimally, but it is definitely searching in a weird way, Clara.
Then I will initiate a hawk protocol and have it basically just, like, take this thing out of the sky, preferably away from where we're going.
Hawk protocol.
Give me, first of all, a stealth check from the Hawk with advantage, and it's +3 again.
Okay.
21. Now give me an attack roll with advantage with +5 to see if you connect. 18. From the view of this Hawk, all of a sudden you see the ground rushing towards you. This tiny white dot gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Your Hawk poof, collides, talons first. There is an impact. There's an initial burst of feathers, and then it fizzles away. Not long afterwards, poof, a bullet streaks out from maybe 1,000 feet off in the distance, strikes your bird clean out of the air.
Yeah, it's what I thought. It's definitely something unnatural. It's gone now. If you see another one, you need to point it out as soon as possible. There's every chance that he's got the ability to do this as often as I have.
Oh, goddess.
Let's
get going.
Yeah, let's use the opening we have now to try and get across the river. Let's try and find somewhere where it's thinner. And you'll move out of the tree line, avoiding the bridge, and sort of heading south, following the river line, basically, looking for a good place to cross. Is there anything anyone would like to do?
Do we have binoculars or anything of the sort? Dafer didn't bring any, but did any of us in general do?
I think it would be fair to say that in the bag of stuff you guys bought, a spyglass or something like that would probably be possible.
Okay. Would you say it is fair to assume in the 3 months we would have had general lessons on geography and
orienteering
things that would orientation and where it would likely be, where it would be more likely to find easier spots for easier crossing in rapid rivers and so on?
I think some of this, yes. How to use a compass, how to read a map, things like that would have been covered in the curriculum you've had so far. I think some of this you guys would have had a better education from hanging around with Axel and Clara. So, yes, definitely this is something that you have a basic knowledge of. More so from spending time with your class than anything, Dafer.
I'd like to try and see of all the information I have about this river, if I've ever seen a map where its flow is generally drawn in. I'd like to based off of that and what I can see with the spyglass, try to point out more easily directly points where
that's an interesting one.
Conditions we're looking for.
Give me just a history check, Dafer, and we're doing this for the idea of before you came here, Dafer might have gone over local maps or something like that. You're trying to recall a memory of something to pull up in this moment. So just a history check. 17? The maps up this far away from the major settlements are mostly things done by people who drew their own map. We're not talking proper ordnance maps that you might get around Amirage itself, or you would get around the big cities where they're properly actually drawn out to the meter. However, you do remember seeing this one river. You remember it starts in a spring up in the mountains, and it connects to several smaller springs further down. You know that technically it's thinner, it's at its thinnest, the opposite direction to the way you guys are going right now, unfortunately. You'd have to go past the bridge and closer to the mountain to get to the thinnest point. But you are also aware that the river bends quite a bit somewhere near here, where there's 2 hills, and it might be easier to cross it basically using the elevation of the terrain to almost jump from one side to the other, where there's more of a ravine sort of thing, where it's carved its way through. So less crossing the river, but more using the hills to almost skip some of the width of the river itself, Dafer.
Can I try to like identify this place roughly with like the spy glasses to see I'm
Looking
or have I already?
looking through the spyglasses as of where you are right now, Dayfra, you can see it gets hillier to the south, but you can't see anything because like you saw it on a map from the top down. What you're looking at right now, it really doesn't equate. Is you're like, I can see it's hilly, but other than that.
Okay. I would inform the party. Okay. As for crossing this, the narrowest point we're not getting to that. I remember having seen a map of this river. The narrowest point is way up there. That's way closer to the mountain. That we're getting shot that direction. We could, however, try to. Like, if you see that hilly area, like over there, I'll point in the direction. If we're lucky, and if I read that map correctly, which I'm pretty sure I did, then we'll have a chance of jump mostly across the river from one of the hills near it.
You want us to jump?
I mean, being thrown is also an option.
I wasn't going to say anything, but out of character, I was already planning on how I could throw Clara. Just grab her with the arms, spin, and then like shot put her.
Axel thinks we could probably mostly make that jump. The only one I'm concerned about is the horse. How long does that thing last, Caliban?
Hold on. It lasts
If it's fine speed, forever.
I think it's
not go away.
I think it's indefinite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then-
After a campaign.
Then the only thing we need to worry about is getting the horse across. Otherwise, we're pretty good. I think.
Why do we? Horses tend to jump fast. One thing, do we as Empress Knights jump further than horses do?
Some of you definitely do.
Jesus Christ.
Do we finally have to look up running jump rules? That tiny section of the player's handbook that never comes in useful.
I have used it once.
Strength-based.
Jumping is usually strength-based, yeah.
You can jump
It's
as
like, what,
far
2
as
times
your
your
strength
strength
score
mod?
I think it's 2 times your strength score, and you need 10-foot run up.
Axel thinks. It's like... The horse, it might be easier to swim the horse across. They're good swimmers. The rest of us, the jump could be a safer option, especially for those of us who are good at this, as he looks at Dafer and Atira.
Alright.
I think it best we crossed in stages anyways.
Mm.
Clara, is Cerberus strong enough to get you across the river?
Like, just chuck me across it?
Well, his wings.
I don't know. She looks at him. He's still got some growing to do.
The
How
hawk
much
head.
heavier than her is Cerberus?
Cerberus is definitely...
Heavier? Probably quite a lot.
Yeah, Cerberus is definitely heavier than Clara.
So like, in the old, like, I don't know, 50 kilo or 60 kilo Clara looking at like 1
Yes.
ton Cerberus.
He's still a baby!
Oh.
It's like
He
huge
doesn't
bear
seem
body.
able to carry me until next level.
Let's keep heading south along the river until we find the hills at least. We're gonna be exposed. There's no trees next to the river line, so I think speed is the important part.
How far into the day are we?
This is halfway through your day's travel, so you've been traveling for about 5-ish hours right now at Hira.
There is a good chance by the time we get to the river, it could be darker.
Which would be nice. For us more than for him.
I'm just a
He
little
doesn't have a night scope, which he might.
worried about the constellations and the powers. Those are new. I don't know what they're capable now. Either way, hanging around isn't going to solve anything.
Off we go.
You guys push out from the tree line, start heading towards the river. Can I get stealth checks from everyone, please?
No bonuses this time.
Sadly not.
Oh, it's gonna be painful. I'm sorry.
No, you did fine.
Oh.
Turns out it's
Oh,
not you
that
that's
is
the
a
problem.
That's a surprise.
Yeah, me and Severus are not having a good time.
I got a 15.
Hold on, let me add the bless. That's a 13.
Moving south along the river, it's not what's following you that you start to see as a problem. The group of individuals on the bridge appears to be one part of a larger group in general. On the other side of the river, you can see that there's like an encampment of maybe 6 or 7 tents. A little closer now, you see that there is a group of individuals with like lever action rifles accompanying these more armored, like men-at-arms style individuals. At one point, you see a glint in this like spyglass in the distance, and I think, Clara, you see a few of these people with rifles point out Cerberus on the other side of the river, and you can see them beginning to, like, gather up bits and pieces, looking like they're trying to head out of the encampment that they're in.
I think we've been spotted.
Oh fuck. Nothing we can do about it now. How many?
A decent amount. There's a whole encampment.
Okay, so nothing that we would like to fight. If it's just half a dozen civilians, that's not a problem. But I don't know, a dozen soldiers or two could be a problem.
How is our civilian friend handling?
Sore. His back hurts, but, you know, he's not dying on the ground, and he also hasn't had to be, like, carried or running all day. So he's got energy, and you know, he's in all, like, in the terms of his, like, spirits here, he seems to be in, like, moderate spirits. At the same time, like, he's not exactly the happiest, like, you know, like, this is painful for him, but otherwise he's alright.
Can I make a persuasion check
What
to
do you...
boost his spirits?
I'll allow persuasion. Performance would be what I would normally say, but persuasion's fine.
But it's a bunch of Lamshi jokes. I'm going to use a cultural bond here.
Uh-huh.
Kind of.
In which case, that will be the reason I allow the persuasion in this case, yeah.
Wow!
He has that smile on his face, Atira, that is like, you know when someone's talking to you and you don't really understand what they're saying, but you smile and you nod in order to make sure that, you know, like, you're not being rude or something like that. He's like looking at you just like that right now, Atira. Yeah, he turns around and he whispers in your ear, Caliban. He's like, this is really awkward, but my Lamshi is so rusty. I've been away and she's, I don't understand half of what she says.
Don't worry, my Lamshi isn't that good either.
Oh god, you speak Lamshi too. As he like puts his face into your shoulder like, why does this noble dude also speak my language maybe better than me? Like, he just face palms into you. I think Axel's gonna make a survival check here. 9. He looks and says, I think the point you called out, Dafer, is quite some distance down the river. I think it's better that we just push it and cross here while we're not under direct fire.
The people that Clara spoke to are like, how far away are they, or are they just on the other side of the river?
It's like off diagonally from you, maybe like half a mile, but you can see that like they are. The ones with guns are like very lightly armed and armored, and it looks like to you, Dafra, they're pretty trained at running cross country, so it won't be too long once they've actually got ready that they will get here, at least within range.
They are south of us, where we would be heading, or north of us?
Like back towards the bridge from where you are right now, but still like closer than the bridges.
Knowing typically, like having seen us jump and thus knowing roughly what the jump speed of everyone is, doing the mental calculations, or like superimposing that over the river and doing the mental calculations, do we actually have a chance of making this?
Give me an investigation check, Dave.
That's a 25.
You've seen a Tira make this jump with ease before. You're pretty confident you can make it, and Axel can. Caliban, Uther, and Clara, if there was like more of a stepping stone situation, any amount of like outcropping, they could make it easily. But as is, they're probably going to get like 2/3 of the way and have some trouble with it.
How wide's the river?
Maybe like 40 feet across or something like that, and moving quite rapidly. Axel extends his weapon until it's kind of more like a pole vault and says, one of you can use this. And Caliban, I'm sure the horse can make it across. So the two of you should be okay. It kind of comes down to Uther and Clara. You say you don't trust this horse, or you do trust this horse?
I said I will trust this horse.
I'll trust this horse, cool.
I can't badmouth the horse when it knows my language.
True.
I'm going to just kind of wade into the shallow part of the river, summon a clone, make the clone move 30 foot closer to the other side of the river, and then try to get into the other shallow part of the river.
Give me an Arcana check, Uther.
Oh no.
16.
1 second.
Oh, and your D4 as well.
Yep. I keep hitting a 2 instead of a 1.
Oh, not
that
quite.
That is an S.
1 S4. 17.
Didn't fucking matter.
Give me one single athletics check as well, please, Uther.
Uther trips on a rock and drowns.
Just bangs his head. 10. You guys watch as Uther gets a little bit in. The current catches you off guard a little bit. As you get up to like your shin deep, where you're like, okay, it's going to be shallower here. There is like a slight undercurrent tug that throws you off kilter. So you activate your clone like a smidgen too early. As you bamp through, you're able to hold your position where you are, Uther, but you're what I would call like off kilter at this point. Axel will kind of move the pole to you, Clara, to help you get across, and will make an athletics check. Axel leaps from one side to the other of the river, and then like takes a couple of steps in, grabs Uther kind of by like the scruff of the scarf, and just lifts you clean up and out of the river and puts you down on the dry ground. Says, that's two of us.
That didn't go as well as I intended.
It's a good idea, though.
The real question is if momentum would carry through the clone, and then I can just run and jump, but I don't think that would work.
Something to figure out in a safer environment. As he like looks over his shoulder at this camp.
I can't believe we're getting speedrun tech from Uther as one of our downtime activities.
I think
Speedy thing goes in, the speedy thing comes out.
if you want to use the pole that Axel gave you, Clara, you could use acrobatics to try and cross the river instead.
Yes, that would probably be preferable to athletics.
Okay, let's go with that. Uh, 19, yeah, nice and easy. It's a little, like, it's not perfectly designed as a pole vault. It doesn't bend in the middle, but it does allow you to move your weight in a way that kind of, like, carries you through the motion. You get to the other side, Clara, and able to hand the weapon back to Axel. Who would like to go next?
I will.
It's here either an acrobatics check, or if you want to spend a key point, you will just make it across.
I hit acrobatics. I
saw some.
Come on.
Nice. Yeah, Adhira, you just seem to, like... There's, like, 2 steps of run-up, and you just seem to sail, kind of like that gull from earlier. Some of the wind just catches you, and you just, like, seemingly drift across the river and land so lightly on the other side.
I've seen wuxia films. I died.
It is like you hired a wire team, like, that just follows you around.
a bunch of spiritual frogs in little overalls and like harnesses, like moving her across a wire.
Caliban, would you give me an animal handling check, please?
Oh man.
Actually,
I sure wish
you could give me persuasion because the horse is intelligent enough to speak your language, because you could speak to it in natural language to, like, calm it down.
Alright, yeah. Here we go.
Just because magic horse. 11.
D4.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
you get another D4. We're looking for a 4 here. No, not quite.
Ah, fuck.
The horse is... It's not that the horse is struggling. It's that the horse is slightly panicked by the situation, Caliban. It gets to the halfway point and starts to, like, back up slightly, even though moving forward would be just as difficult, right? Like, it's, like, in the middle of the river and is, like, doing a sort of, like, I don't know if I really want to keep going. Like, what if it keeps getting deeper? Like, you see the horse, like, taking, like, test trots forward and then backing up a little bit.
Hold on, he's gonna have to hop off. He's gonna have to lead the horse.
Give me
You're in the middle of the stream.
Give me an athletics check, Caliban. You can do it.
Okay.
14.
Oh wait, hold on.
D4?
Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
1d4.
15.
15, baby.
15 is enough for you to somewhat keep your footing. It's slow going, but Caliban and the horse are making it across very
I'm
slowly.
directing the horse. I'm trying to get it to like, hey, don't worry, it's fine. Look, I'm standing just fine.
Yeah, and that is working, like, keeping its attention on you and moving ahead of it. But again, like, you're also kind of leaning on the horse, right? Like, the two of you are kind of working together to make it across the river at this point. And you're moving, 5 foot every 6 seconds. Like, it's the slowest combat crawl in a sense, but decent progress as you're moving across right now. I think it's only Dayfer that needs to make it across. You've given me an athletics check, Dayfer?
I would actually wait until Caliban is over to make sure.
Yeah, okay. In which case, those of you across the other side of the river, what do you want to do? As it looks like Caliban's going to take a second to get across. It's maybe going to give those other people a chance to get here. Is there anything in particular you'd like to do in this moment?
Let me just read one of my abilities real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I may be pulling some BS. I need to look at the spirit monk form. Because it specifies a spirit, it just doesn't specify that it has to be a certain spirit. I wish that we had this saved somewhere. Astral self. So, I'm gonna sort of step away from the others as they watch Caliban get across. And I'm gonna reach in my pocket and start running my hand over the black leather ball. Visage of the astral self. Okay. And I'm gonna ask, do you want to try something funny?
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to the dog.
What is it you would like to propose?
These people, they be Trismerians, recognize the spirits of the woods. I would like to use my 6th level feature, speaking in mechanical terms, and take on the visage of the dog that smiles but cannot comfort, and tell them to leave.
Give me one moment to think about this.
Okay.
So you turn your head, your visage morphs, your face warps into something more canine with that big human teeth smile set into a dog's face. I am going to make a few checks.
I do have advantage on intimidation checks. I will say this, and I can direct my words to a creature of my choice within 60 feet of me, or I can amplify my voice so that all creatures within 600 feet can hear me.
Give me an intimidation check with advantage.
Oh my god. 15.
You watch as these, what appears to be poachers, are approaching you quickly, their eyes set on Cerberus as an interesting prize. At which point you turn and a thing that some people have, sworn to the others, I've seen this thing before. Others who have been told stories as children look as this entity that sometimes shows up in the dark of the night is stood in pretty much broad plain daylight, having possessed this young foreign girl as far as they can tell. And most of them, stop in their tracks. A few of them continue forward, but the gun lowers a little bit. They're more cautious, Adhira. You've definitely bought time, and Caliban manages to make it across the river, leaving Dafer. You're the only one needing to cross now.
Okay, I jumped in, having secured that, Caliban made it across, and thus we're on my side of the river. We're mostly safe. So the only problem is the potential poacher. I would jump, which means an athletics check, I assume.
Yes, please.
18.
18 is enough. You land at the river's other edge, so you land in the shallows, but with the heavy boots and gauntlets you have, Dafer, the river flow there isn't enough to really sweep you off your feet at all. You manage to trudge a little wet but otherwise safe out onto the other side of the river. Axel says, whatever Adhira just fucking did brought us some time, but they're still coming. Let's move.
Face don't stick like that.
Off we go.
And you guys move off into the night. It's getting to that point where the sun was going down, but now it's at the horizon and it's gonna very quickly disappear. What do you guys want to do? Do you want to keep moving while it's dark, or do you want to try and find somewhere to hunker down while it's dark?
I think we force march it.
Axel looks at the horse and says, we should be careful. We didn't swap too much today. The horse is going to run out of steam eventually.
Is it? Okay. Is it?
Caliban, with that river crossing and stuff, yeah, definitely your horse is getting tired, you would say.
Our horse is just. We're just gonna make sure the horse walks.
Yeah, Caliban slows the horse's pace a little.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold. So we still have the tent. The tent cannot hide the horse. It can only hide us.
Adamsia kind of like slips off the horse and says, I could walk this last bit. I could do with moving my legs.
Given I already have seen a map, like we established, I've seen a map that gives me like at least a view of the river. Have I seen maybe enough of the map to like have an idea of the surroundings that might give us some kind of hiding place, or the like?
I think for this one, give me historic disadvantages. We're like expanding out your knowledge of what you would have checked. I think checking like an important geographic feature like a river would be something different to do, but like now you're just looking at like forests and stuff like that. Yeah, Dayford, you looked at a few places, but this wasn't one of them at this point.
Makes sense.
Axel says, we have some star and moonlight we can travel by. Maybe we travel until we find a forest or something covered that we can hide the horse in to rest in.
Right. I mean, these poachers will still be on our asses. The question is...
Axel shakes his head. I don't think they'll chase us into the night. Plus, they're already camped. Their encampment was set up. Once we get far enough away, I doubt they'll follow us too far. We can keep an eye out, of course, but I'm pretty sure we're safe.
Well, from them.
At the very least, yes.
That means if we can set up camp, that means we can mostly still reuse the tent we have. That's not going to work for the horse, so we should put the horse a decent distance away. Fire is out.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But yeah, I think that we should definitely not go in the clearing, but I think the tent should help a lot.
Axel looks at you, Clara, and says, you and me split up, move ahead a little, see if we can find a good spot to camp.
You got it.
Nuts. He'll make a survival check. Ooh. See what Clara gets as well. You move ahead, Clara. The two of you kind of forking out ahead. Clara, you mostly find there's like little... You can tell that the river used to snake through here more. There's like little ponds and pools. So there's lots of fresh water sources and things like that you find, Clara, for like refilling a water skin or something like that. Axel comes back and says, I found an area of trees that is big enough for us to put a camp in the middle. Definitely large enough for us to hide the horse in, and Severus as well.
That's perfect. Not going to find much that outweighs that.
Let's go for it. And then, like, leads you guys there. Begins, setting up a camp and so on. Looks at you, Adhere, and says, you had a flashbang, right?
I do indeed.
Maybe we could rig it up between a couple of trees in case someone comes sneaking through. There's a obvious path that is kind of trail marked. It's going to be loud enough to wake us up if anyone falls asleep on watch or anything like that.
You guys got any wire?
He looks at you, Uther.
I mean, I assume between two different thieves' kits we can find some wire. So yeah.
Yeah.
Do the two of you want to go and set that up, Atira and Uther? Okay.
Sure. Give me advantage on my sleight of hand.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Get me more justification to take sleight of hand proficiency at some point in the
Yeah.
future. Because I don't have that one.
Nice. The two of you, you find what Axel was talking about. There's a trail that you guys didn't come through because it faces more towards the river. It looks like it's seen a fair bit more foot traffic than before. Looking around, you see a few of these trees are like marked with like kind of like a chalk X or something. Maybe it's paint or something like that. It's kind of hard to tell in the like the starlight that you guys are working with. But it seems like these trees are being grown for like a specific purpose and being watched over. And that's what this trail kind of demarks. It's like someone comes here to look at these trees to check their health or something. It's not immediately obvious to you.
Man, we're going to get jumped by park rangers.
But yeah, you're able to work together to kind of make a taut string that then connects to the loop on the flashbang. Very much improvised, but with it planted in the ground, it's not going to move anywhere. And if someone pulls the string, the flashbang will go off. Anything else the two of you would like to do? If not, you would arrive back to everyone chewing on hard tack and like maybe like stuff that has been soaked in a little bit of water in order to make it softer. But yeah, it's not day for cooking, you know, sausages over the campfire as you're more used to. There's no fire this time, just the cold chill of the evening and food that is blandly seasoned, but maybe a little seasoned altogether.
Out of sheer pity with everyone and hating my own rations, I would try to like. I would not use the fairy spice, the face spice, because like that's for special occasions. But like I don't know, general salt that I find makes this bearable. I just pass around.
Yeah, it turns from bland mush into salty bland mush, which is maybe better. Like
yeah, upgrade.
You can see that for Axel, this brings back horrid memories as he's chewing on this, as he's like sat there, just biting down on this weird tough Weetabix block.
I think Dave would misinterpret that face and go like, we're only gonna have decent food again when we make it. Fun. Having a brain killer on your ass is sucked in so many different ways.
I'm looking forward to instant noodles back in the city. Yes.
Wow, aim a little higher, why don't you?
2 pots of instant noodles.
As you
gives you a half smile.
What your sodium levels look like.
I'm gonna go to that nice lamshy place.
I think the smoking's probably worse for me, Uther. Can't even do that.
Do what?
He's like, has like a pack of cigarettes, but obviously lighting one is going to be a source of light in the dark. It would be possibly seen, so.
Not discounting the smell.
Axel throws his sleeping bag to Adamshir, who like takes it and says, "Oh, what about you?" Axel shakes his head and says, "It's fine. Not the first time I've slept in the cot."
I want to insight that.
Yeah, sure.
What does he mean? Do I feel something like kinship?
Pretty
or
sure
is
dude
that...
slept in armor before.
Girl.
7.
Girl.
Here you're you're somewhat tired from days of trekking and pursuit and the conflict. The only thing you can tell on like a 7 is the smile on Axel's face is for reassuring someone. It's not like it's practice. This is someone who's, had a career in trying to put people at ease.
Oh, I thought Adamshir was saying that this was the first time.
No. Axel says that as he
okay.
throws Adamshir at the bedroll.
Never mind then.
And yeah.
How old does Adamshir look?
You would say like either mid-20s or early 30s, something like that. There's a youthfulness about the face, but there's also the beginnings of like occasional like grays and things like that showing up in the hair. It's what makes you think that way, at least, Atira.
Okay.
And your civilian charge falls asleep pretty instantly. Wrapped up in the warm bag, falls asleep there. Axel says, "We should keep watches. I'll take the first one. Does anyone specifically not want to be woken?"
Not quite.
Okay. In which case, all of you get some sleep. We've got another day of swift as possible travel tomorrow.
All right.
Obviously, from the point of view, from the point of view, you guys, I guess you will just hunker down to sleep. Nothing you want to do before bed, or
maybe convince Daver to use one of the muffling runes if we haven't already.
Not stone. Like I can try to hammer it into the ground, but the chances of it working are low.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's more like the ground is unlikely to keep the shape up. Like I can try. We can see if it actually does anything. David just doesn't have much hope.
Give me an Arcana check, David.
Okay. 26.
You find a few decently sized rocks that you like carry into the area where you guys are camping that you stamp it on. It's not going to do much, David, but it's better than nothing.
Well, I got something going. Thanks for kicking my ass about this. Better than having nothing at all.
That was my thought. The attempt would be worth it if it at least buys us a minute or two.
Think you'll be able to sleep tonight?
Hope so. If not, it'll be a long day tomorrow.
Yeah, that's about how I feel. I'm not sure how I'll get to sleep tonight.
From the point of view of you guys, obviously you bed down. Adhera. Next thing you know, hand on your shoulder, the sound of Axel's voice, kind of lowish, waking you up. Says, "Hey, Adhera, wake up."
Is it my turn for a watch?
He nods. "There's something I wanted to ask you."
Do we step away from the others?
He shakes his head. "Just keep our voices low. I don't want to wake them." "You spend a lot of time with Andrus in your year."
Yes.
"I am aware of some of the things he is able to do. Conjuring weapons. I think I've seen him reach into a reservoir of energy to recharge people's barriers and heal wounds. Is there anything more you're aware of that could help us here if our pursuer has the same skill set, I'd like to know what that means.
Whatever you thought Striker was weak to before, he could be weak to necrotic now. The energy that depletes, that diminishes. What else would I know about the Paladin class?
Give me an insight check on your boyfriend. As to
With
how
advantage?
I think this is more enabled
Okay.
because you're so close.
That's fair. 18.
You know that when you're near him, you feel inured to sort of like negative emotions. You feel emboldened. There's something about being close to him that's like more than just your feelings, right? You're able to separate these two things. There is certainly a level of comfort in being near him, but there's something beyond that as well. There's some sort of like ability that projects from him that keeps people stable and calm.
So I know that the aura of courage isn't just because like, oh, he's Anders, that he makes me feel this way. It's like, no, there's a magical reason.
There's like, it's a little bit of both, right? Like there's your feelings for him, and there's some sort of like magical sort of inurement as well. Beyond that, you're aware that he himself acts like one of the very expensive crystals. It's almost like there is a degree of power within him that he can use to cast spells with. Although the list of like the spells you've seen him cast are to do with like feeding people, helping people with diseases and things like that. But you're not sure if that's the only thing he can do, or if that's more to do with like that's who Andrus is as a person, so that's how it manifests. Like you're not sure if that's a limitation.
I've never seen Andres summon a seagull.
That's true.
Yeah.
The other thing you're aware of, obviously, is Andrus is able to smite. So, like, when Andrus hits something, there is a amount of energy they can pulse through themselves that enhances the impact of them.
I think that and the spells, this innate ability to call upon spell-like effects is what she will confer. She doesn't know if that courage aura is going to be something that would make any sort of difference, considering this guy seems to be moving alone, and we don't have a bunch of stuff that causes fear or debilitates with negative emotions.
Gotcha.
He probably has spells. That bird he summoned. Andres, he likes to help. His ability to heal and help people is what is keeping him on his path. I don't know if his striker has that same connection. He may be something completely different. He can also probably hit you really, really hard.
Could be why his weapon is impacting so hard as well. It was a strong weapon, but it's a couple of generations old at this point. His accuracy is as good as ever, but the way that thing hits, I can still feel it rattling my teeth right now. I took one too many shots during that run.
Did he have any melee capabilities when he was alive?
He closes his eyes and like thinks back and says, "No one ever got close. I don't know."
I think getting close outpost may be our best option if he manages to make up any of his lost distance. But and she reaches over and, following a, don't want to say idiom, but a saying, a belief that she's heard, she lightly taps on the wooden bark of a tree. I think we've made pretty good headway so far.
Experiment says we should be very careful. Without knowing what destiny Stryker is drawing from to get this new power, it could well be that perhaps he is unkillable until we can figure out how to break it.
It'd be true necromancy if what I think is right.
He thinks for a moment, says, I'm far more willing to believe that there was some misunderstanding in the report I read, that he was more left for dead than he was dead when the rest of the team moved away.
Mind sharing this report in broad strokes? What happened that caused his death?
Axel leans back against the tree as he's thinking and says, when I first got out of jail, I drifted around the city a little bit looking for some kind of purpose. I technically still had my rights as an EK, although my rank had been dropped. So I tried to catch up with people that I used to know. When I was looking up Stryker, I found a report maybe 3 years ago now. He was part of a routine patrol at the edge of the Lamshi Desert. There was a sinkhole that opened up underneath his position. He was caught off guard and dropped down into a nest dug by some miasmic monster. Caught off guard. The rest of the forces with him moved to try and help, but they reported that there was no possible chance of saving Stryker and he had to be abandoned beneath the sands.
Can Axel give me an insight check?
Yep. 14.
I'm going to roll. What is my passive deception? What is passive deception?
10 plus whatever your
you know what?
modifier is.
Beats it.
What does he see on your face?
There is both relief and disappointment. I think believing this to have been true necromancy, someone fully brought back from the dead, introduced chaotic thoughts to Adhira, hopes, and now with this possibility that something else had just gotten to him and that he made some deal somewhere or he stumbled upon this power, means that it wasn't true necromancy, and she doesn't have to worry about finding that, but also that means that whatever she had possibly hoped for is still out of reach. And it's that sort of like relief that she doesn't have that burden on, but still it's a mixed bag.
He looks at you, Atira, and says, we live in the moment right now. Right now, you need to be keeping an eye on everyone. Thinking about the future will cause you anxiety, and clinging onto the past will cause regrets. Focus on today.
Very well. She is going to get up. She's going to turn on her shell and throw her hood on, and she will disappear between the trees.
Give me a perception check, Atira, for your watch.
15.
15. From most of your watch, it's pretty quiet. There's animal noises, things that you're expecting to hear. There's the like rush of the river nearby. Near the end of your watch, off on the horizon, back towards the encampment, you see streaks of light, and then a few seconds later, there's the pop, 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 as you think Stryker has found this encampment of individuals, and you just see light streaks in the distance as most likely tents are being just absolutely chewed through with bullets right now.
How far away?
Hours away, right? Like, because you guys traveled for a good 3 hours afterwards.
What was it that he said thinking about the future only brings anxiety? I'm thinking about the now right now, and I'm getting anxiety.
What do you want to do?
I am going to, like... God, I feel like she's put herself on the ground like some sort of fucked up lizard at this, and she's just gonna crawl backwards. Touch Axel. We found the encampment.
Eyes open, bleary and watered, having gotten, like 2-3 hours sleep, as he thinks to himself, it's gonna slowly get lighter from here. We can move, but we're gonna be tired. We should wake the others and see what they think.
Yeah. What are the chances? Just sort of thinking about it, I will take this insight at disadvantage because I don't know the man, or what has changed, or what he's become. What's the likelihood that he starts asking these poachers questions? And they point.
I don't think you've got enough information.
Okay.
You could maybe ask Axel about it, but you yourself, Atira, you don't have enough to try and figure that out.
I'm just going to throw out there, one of his shots is enough to almost down people in this party. Normal ass people are just getting put on a t-shirt.
Pretty sure whoever is... I'm pretty sure he's the kind of guy that just shoots first, asks questions later to the corpse, with some kind of ask the dead spell.
Usher, do you mean like the shirts people wear like when their best friend dies and it's like never forget?
Yes. Yes.
Once you guys are all aroused, Axel will say, Atira saw gunshots on the horizon, probably at the encampment 3 hours out, likely found the poachers that we encountered. There's every chance that they could still continue this way. Could also be that, that encampment wasn't hidden. They likely had a fire out. For all we know, it's drawn his attention away from us, not towards us. But at the same time, we could set out now. It's going to slowly get lighter from here, but we're going to be tired. What do people think?
We still need to cover our tracks, right? Because if we just go for a sprint, I'd say, or we just move as fast as possible, I'd say it's worth it. But if we still need to move stealthily, then we need to be able to actually spot out our tracks, not to be able to hide them. And then, yeah.
It's a full day's travel ahead of us, but at the end of that day's travel, we reach our destination. Stryker's strong, stronger than I think he was before, but a city's worth of defenses and trains and other things moving through that area, it's not going to risk that.
If we wait, he's just going to get closer.
We don't know that. It could in fact be that if we stay hidden and he still has some kind of owl creature out that might not have spotted us yet inside this tent, that us moving could give us away.
Do we have any way of trying to check the skies? My eyesight isn't good enough to spot a shape moving against starlight.
I have bets, I guess, but echolocation doesn't really work at those distances. At least not consistently.
Wither brings up a valid point. Could you summon an owl? Owl versus owl
I
fight?
could.
I assume they'd be better than a bat, but I don't know.
We can try for it. Claire?
Sure, if that's what you think is best. I'm just a little bit concerned that every time I've put one into the sky, he seems to notice it within seconds.
His sight does seem to be unnaturally enhanced, even with the scope. Some of the things he's done feels odd to me.
He took expertise.
I have a thought. I just don't know how to justify the question.
What's the thought?
Could he have some form of magic sight?
Could. Or the scope might be what's changed. Maybe there's some enchantment on it now. Maybe magical constructs glow up, or some way of seeing the true form of things I've heard about.
So to get this straight, his weapon beforehand was a gun.
It's like one of those big old belt-fed, like, heavy machine guns. It just happens to have a scope on it, and he just happens to be a ridiculously good shot at here.
Okay, it's a custom battlefield weapon, but
those guys in Vietnam that figured out how to snipe with the Browning.
Dude, I go to support class. I just put the biggest scope I have, and I just find the highest point. Flara's report was that it was made out of light with a solid suppressor on it.
It does have a solid suppressor on the end. And it was glowing. It being made out of light, I don't think so. What Clara saw that was made of light was like a constellation of stars around him while he was overlooking you guys.
I think Ed here probably would believe that it was made out of light, even if that's like erroneous, simply because what she's seen the only other paladin do.
True, yes. Andros's weapon is a solid light construct.
That brings up a question, though. If the spear is made out of light, and this is maybe going off on a little bit of a tangent, so shut me up if needed. It's a thought to pull it into being. If you make a gun out of light, do you have to be familiar with all the moving parts and, like, be conscious of every bullet going through?
That depends on how the magic works, right? Whether it's vibe-based or not.
True. Okay. I'm tired. I'm thinking deliriously.
Depends on whether it's orc magic or magic.
I hope it's not orc magic.
You can see Axel is truly torn between the two ideas. On the one hand, hunkering down with the impressive feats of sight that your opponent seems to be throwing out, it could be the right option. Maybe they'll continue to just continue off to the west, moving past the camp. Or maybe they will be able to find you guys and track you here, in which point you should be moving. And it's like they're complete opposites, and they both make sense to him as he's like tired and sat leant against the tree thinking about what to do in this moment. And he would like voice where he's like drawn down the line from.
In my opinion, it's a bet. We have two strategies either make sense. The one is we try to maximize our our abilities, which means we hope he doesn't. We bet that he doesn't find us here, and optimize our chances of safely getting to the city later. Or we say fuck it and rush off as fast as we can, and to just get the most amount of distance between us possible. No care for the consequences. How much ability is the area? All of us that looked around, do we have still a lot of free-ish area around us, or is it a lot of plains to the city?
Speaking from memory, having, you kind of come this way before, most of this area is like sporadic forest, and it's like somewhere between hills, flatlands, and forest. Like, it mixes together pretty much, with rivers cutting through it.
So far, I have been fairly confident in our ability to hide our tracks and delay him enough to buy us time sufficiently. That's my opinion. What do the rest of you think?
I think we're running out of time. I think eventually he'll catch up to us. And all we're doing is tiring ourselves out and delaying the inevitable. If what we've seen is correct, he's empowered by something that we have no means of matching in a straight-up fight. Which also means we have no means of matching it just absent-mindedly stumbling through the woods. Who's to say he needs to rest? Or to sleep?
What's your vote, Clara? Do we finish up our rest here and move in the morning, or?
I think if we have any chance, we have to move now.
Axel looks to Uther, Atira, Caliban, if you have.
That's a good point about the sleep. He's still out there popping heads. I in character, looking at Axel, what would I be able to glean on the willpower of a EK to keep going for days on end?
Yeah, give me an insight check.
Obviously, Mr. Werewolf over here is an outlier.
Honey, you can see Axel's very much nearing the end of his tether right now, Atira. Like, he's... In some sense, you guys are supporting him. In another sense, he has to worry about you all as well. So that is a difficulty that he is dealing with, right? He's got a civilian and he's got EKs in training with him. He's also, this mission has gone on for a while. That said, you can see that if he needed to, and he was let loose, like, he could definitely keep going for, like, another day straight before just collapsing of sheer exhaustion. There's no knowing how well rested Striker is, and being a higher rank EK, how much, like, it's so difficult for you to tell. All you get in this moment is you can tell that your instructor is struggling.
What was Striker? S rank?
No, A. He's essentially like a level 17 character.
I think Adhira, tired, anxious, and reluctant, is still going to vote to just push justice a last bit.
Yeah.
If we can get into walls of the city, we're safe.
Try and cross the finish line. Okay. I guess that comes to Uther and Caliban. Is there any input from you guys, or are you more willing to go with the group?
I don't got any input.
Caliban, just go with whatever. Uther?
I say push, but when I say push, I mean forget the pretense of hiding tracks. We gotta go.
So nuts. I think Clara, if we're gonna do this, you summon that steed of yours. We'll take turns on who rides the horse, and we'll just maximize how quick we move. Sound good?
Right.
So.
We've got a couple hours head start, even if he's approaching our location. Let's try and use it. Everyone pack up your stuff, let's move. And he, stands up and wakes up your civilian friend who's, dead asleep as you guys are discussing this. Says, sorry, man. We need to move. I think if we want to be safe, we've got to go. And he, bleary-eyed, you see grumbles, but he's got no way of, arguing as Axel rolls up the bed thing and starts packing it away. Let's go.
Please give me 5 minutes for the tent.
Yeah. Managed to get the Taliesin thread all back together. Caliban and Adamsir on the horse. Clara muffling the horn, or?
Yeah, I'll muffle the horn.
Yeah, there's but it's low. It doesn't really carry that much. At which point a horse that seems to be made of the outline of threads appears. And it's dyed in certain places to have this I can't remember what the color is. It patchwork, the name of the coloration of the horse, where it's brown and white. It's almost got a dairy cow sort of look to it, where the color stains are on the threads. But yeah, a spectral steed of fabric sort of comes from the tree line, Clara.
Nice.
Weird.
What name are you giving it?
Don't know. Haven't decided yet.
We gotta decide.
This instant, or it won't move. No, Axel looks you, Clara, and says, "You ride first, and then we'll swap as people become tired of running."
Okay.
Yeah. Heading out. I think everyone needs to, first of all, give me a Constitution save to see whether you suffer exhaustion or not. Having 2/3 of a night's rest in some cases.
Actually, it's still fucking dead.
Yeah. I think Dafer and Adhira, I think you feel Terminus is helping you a bit here. There is an energy in your muscles and bones that is very much not your own. You can feel that your body is screaming at you that you need to stop moving. Yet, there is a sense that maybe sometimes when you take a step, it's not because you wanted to, it's because Terminus made you as you continue to move forward at pace. And Dafer, you're doing okay. You got most of a night's rest, and you've got a lot of reserves to pull on. Caliban, obviously, is absolutely fine on top of his horse. For some reason, Caliban looks as if he got a full night's rest. In fact, you're not sure, but Caliban may have put makeup on. His complexion seems better this morning as the light starts to come through.
That's why he didn't have an opinion. He was turned away the little pocket beer and just whatever, guys.
Powdering his nose as you guys discuss tactics. Clara, you're doing okay. Obviously, you're on the back of this steed, which is helping a lot. But you do suffer a point of exhaustion. Uther as well. Axel takes 2 points of exhaustion. You can tell that he is dead on his feet, and it is only instinct and training that is keeping him moving and his head on a swivel. Who wants to be the one who is setting pace and or keeping an eye on where you guys are going?
I think it makes sense for me. Well, strictly speaking, Uther sets pace because he is the slowest of the ones that currently.
I get 2 dashes.
Yeah, Uther does
But
have
can
some.
you do that for an hour?
Yeah, so Uther does have some speed. In terms of setting pace, it's more to do with who's at the front of the pack, is what I mean.
Okay. In that case, Dave would be happy to, just in case we run into anything. He seems to be doing fairly good.
Okay. Dave, give me a perception or a survival check.
Okay. Perception then.
18. Not your expertise, Dafer, but you can tell that among your companions, you're one of the people who's handling this situation in terms of energy levels the best. Moving to the front of the pack, remembering as much as you can, like using that sort of eidetic memory on stuff that you wouldn't normally commit to memory, the shape of a rock on the way here, the way that the paths moved away from the settlements that you walked by, all those kind of things, trying to piece it together and matching it against what you see. You eventually find a path that you think is built more for speed than safety. There's this like loose dirt road that you're definitely going to leave tracks in, but it doesn't change elevation. It's a pretty straight shot that then curves at the very end towards the settlement, and you're not going to get lost. There is a path to follow. At this point, I will need you all to give me an athletics check. Remembering to do it disadvantage. I think 1 level exhaustion is disadvantaged on skill checks. I might be wrong.
That is correct.
It
It's
is.
ability checks.
Okay.
Ability checks.
So that's 22 from Dayfair. Whew. I guess technically, Clara, you're still on the horse, so I think I will negate.
For a second.
I think I'd probably fall off the horse.
That's fair.
Also is on the horse, isn't he?
Caliban is on a horse as well, yes.
I think they both just auto-succeed, don't they?
I think they're doing better, yeah. Give me 1 second.
Disadvantage?
God damn, you guys are slow.
Disadvantage. I'm just gonna roll a d20.
Wait, do we have the... does the horse have to roll?
Give me 1 second, let me see. So, it looks...
It has 18 strength. A warhorse has 18 strength, so I just add like 5 to my athletics roll.
Yeah, do so then.
So that would just be... So it... I'm not sure if I would have needed to roll, but if I did roll, according to my athletics roll that I rolled, it would have been 11.
11 total, thank you. And then this is a disadvantage. 15. The hours seem to stretch. Clara, you end up kind of leaning forward on this intangible horse, that you do eventually find yourself beginning to like slip from on top of it, struggling to like keep yourself awake more than anything. That's the hard part, Clara, is like the motion is like almost to a degree rocking you to sleep, and your body is protesting, holding on tight to something. Adhira, are you using the
Yeah,
spirit form?
I'm taking what you said at Terminus as sort of for lack of a better term, puppeteering me.
Yeah, I think at this point, like, Adhira, you don't remember when this happens, but you feel that you're no longer running anymore, and yet you're traversing across this terrain. When you open your eyes, the 4 spectral arms have lifted your body up, and you're like, Terminus is fully moving you. You're just hanging there at this point with these like spectral arms coming off of you. Axel,
not terrifying at all.
Axel, absolutely exhausted, moves to you, Uther, and puts an arm around you and helps you to continue running at like, it's not that you can't keep moving, Uther, it is the pace, it's the constant pace that you're struggling with. As he puts his arm around you, he'll take a 3rd point of exhaustion to keep you moving with the rest of everyone. I think Clara and Uther give me a Constitution saving throw as well.
Oh boy, here comes the cascading failure.
Uther, you do take a 2nd point. DC was 15.
You're an asshole.
Sorry. Dafer, I need one more perception check.
Okay, let's see if I can actually make this. God damn!
19.
Yeah.
You see Amaraj in the distance. You see the train line. You're like higher up. It goes downhill from here, and the path and the river are sort of flowing in a similar direction. You're like to one side of you. You're 2 hours from your destination, something like that. There's not much out the direction you are, because this dirt path is for people who are in like the forestry business or something like that. The main trade roads are all like down set below you, so there aren't too many people immediately around where you are, but you can see in the distance the milling of civilization and safety. On that 19, as you swivel and look around at your companions, you see in the distance, this time, a faster moving bird than a gull. You see a hawk itself moving in a straight line, seems to be heading towards your group. It doesn't look like it would have seen you from here, Dafer, as its head is down, but it's moving the direction that it's going to like sweep over the top of you guys. I don't know what you want to do.
How quick? In how many, like doing the rough calculations, how many seconds do I have?
You've got like a minute.
Okay. I basically immediately go into, one second, who do we have as, Caliban is the only shooter we have that is not exhausted. Is that correct?
I have 1 level, it doesn't affect my shooting, but not yet.
Right.
Second level doesn't affect my shooting yet.
Okay. I would basically immediately point out the direction it is in. I basically like keep. I think we have bird incoming, hawk. This direction, like my arm points in its direction, like trying to like keep out of its sight, but just and follows where it is, so the other can easily track it, and see if they can pair a thought or anything.
Those of you who want to try and shoot it down, you can give me a perception check. It would be at disadvantage, but the fact that Dafer has pointed out to you will give you advantage, so it's a straight roll to try and perceive it.
DM, is this bird within 60 feet range of a spinning scythe?
No, it's not within 60 feet.
Well, I tried.
Uther gets a 1d4.
Yeah, and Caliban a perception check as well, please, I think. Caliban, like, swiveling around, higher up, sun in your eyes, you don't get a good view. Clara and Uther, Clara, you spot the shadow moving against the light, and Uther, from where you are, you've got a decent bead on it as well. If Uther and Clara want to try and take a shot at it, you can. I think Uther would be at disadvantage because of the range, and Clara, I don't think range matters to you, so you can take the shot straight if you wish.
Oh, that's the damage roll. Oops. Click the wrong part of that button.
16, okay. And Uther? 11. Yeah, Uther, your weapon very much not designed for this, as you pull out, like a personal defense in the city designed to, take a shot at someone more within 60 feet than the distance we're talking about. Clara, a little bit more practice hunting, a little bit more specified for this situation. Your arrow finds its mark, and this pursuing familiar once again disappears from existence.
He's gotta hate you.
Look, he's me on the enemy team.
Here to say, the only thing the sniper hates is the other sniper. I can't wait for later in the campaign with Clara holding a helmet on a stick.
It's that thing where snipers dueling each other. They get the drive to be better than the other by pressing tab and looking at the scoreboard and be like, just need 2 more kills.
I thought you were talking in real life for a moment, and then you hit me with fucking tab. I was like,
he just reaches over and presses an invisible button. It's like, she's killed my familiar 2 times.
hits the tab star in his power set, brings up the kill count of all of existence.
That could be a thing.
That genuinely could be a thing. You guys make it to the outskirts of town. It is unusual for people to show up on horseback. There's a little bit of a stir around you. A couple of individuals of the local guard come walking forward. One of them raises a hand to Axel and says, "Identify yourself." And Axel in his half-contained annoyance, literally just picks the guy up slightly, reaches into his pocket, and then holds up a fistful of scrumpled paperwork, and then smushes it against his face before dropping him. He looks to the other guy and says, "We're being pursued. There's a dangerous threat on the way. Alert the rest of your guard and be on the watch out." The one guard who's startled from being dropped opens up the paper, reads through it, looks at the other guy, nods and says, "He's a qualified EK. We better do what he says." And then the two of them scurry off. The gates that are in front of you are opened up as they do so, and Axel kind of waves over his shoulder and says, "Let's get to the train yard."
Sooner we ought to be the better yet. God, this is a starting point for safety.
Didn't we have a monk with us?
That's the monk.
Or a prisoner as well?
We
No,
landed those off.
you dropped them
We
off
left those.
in Choir.
Okay.
I, meanwhile, have 20 pounds of metal shards in a bag on my
Yeah.
bag.
Yeah, we got a lot of metal.
Moving into the train yard itself, there's about the big main train yard, which is off from the place you parked before. There's a big waiting area. There's 20 cargo trains in here, which makes your train, the Naiad's Dawn, with its few passenger carriages, look tiny compared to these absolutely massive older generation freight trains. Axel moves up to the Naiad's Dawn, and as you get close, you see Dylan sat with some of the other engineers that come from Dogmatic Automotive that gave you the train, kind of sat around. Dylan stands up and looks at you guys and says, "You're back. Are you..."
We leave.
Oh, okay. He gestures to some of the other engineers. One of the engineers stands up and looks at the guy with you, looks at his uniform, and he says, "Who is this?"
Civilian
Driver of an
who picked up
airship
along with-
crash.
And witness that may need to be questioned. I say that last part very quiet so that Adams here doesn't have to hear it.
This engineer who works for Dogmatic Automotive looks at him and says, he needs to be confined to one of the passenger carriages. He will not be allowed to roam the train.
Makes sense to me.
And the engineer, you see, like, pauses for a second, but eventually moves to get into the locomotive. What do you guys want to do?
Get on the
think-
train.
I helped Axel find a bed without, like, running into door frames. This is, like, I think my first task.
Yeah, I think Axel makes sure that Adamsir gets on the train, and he gives a few instructions to a couple of the engineers here. He says, I want you to send a message down the line about a potential sighting of paladins. I want you to send a message down the line about Adamsir being a survivor, and for his company Lichtco to be prepared to receive him when we return back to the city. And I want you to go on the express line, and I only want priority messages. Okay. And then, yeah, he basically gets into his carriage and just sort of like lays down on the bed, and you see he pretty much falls asleep almost instantly as he finds some measure of safety here.
Despite this evening, I don't feel quite as shit as I thought I would. I'll calm down and, I don't know, make a long cooking stew or something.
Yeah, there's the like kitchen carriage on here, Dafer, if you want to head in there and start cooking.
I think Dafer is still on like 180 because we just got on the train and then it's been like 15 minutes and now it needs to sink in that we're not immediately about to get shot.
Yeah, there's like all that adrenaline that kind of needs to cook off, I imagine.
Okay. Anyone up for a round of cards?
I'm passing
No.
the fuck out.
A game of what?
Cards.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'm
Dafer
going to
Dafer and Caliban sit and play some cards in like the communal cabin type thing. Atira, what were you saying?
I'm going to move to whatever room will be mine. I'm going to unclasp my lamp from my side so that I'll hold it close to my chest. I'm just gonna fall on it, like halfway. Like she doesn't even make it all the way on or pull the covers. She just falls asleep.
You're like torso,
looking like a drunk.
Yeah, you're like torso and face is like on the bed, but you're technically kneeling on the ground. You're like more hugging the surface of the bed than anything. As Adhira, you pass out in your room. Clara, what about you? Is it to sleep, or do you want to stay up and do anything?
I'll probably be staying up making notes, like in my own section.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you open up your like student guidebook thing, which has space for you to keep your own notes in and writing down in there, I presume, or are you using a tablet thing?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. All right. Is there anything in particular you're noting? Is it about the pursuit, or is it more diary-ish?
Yeah, it's more just about what's happened, like, basically everything she remembers about what he looked like and what she noted, so that when they get back, she can pass that information on accurately and not marred by, like, 3 to 4 days worth of fog.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't think you need to roll for that. You just write down everything that you can remember from the pursuit that you saw, that you dealt with, that he did, what his weapon looked like, all that sort of stuff. Do you want to try and sketch him at all, Clara? Because I think that would be a roll otherwise.
Yeah, just for comparison's sake, that seems like a wise idea.
I think sleight of hand works for me here. If you have proficiency in like either calligraphy or something like that, that would work too.
No, not anything like that.
Okay, sleight of hand it would be in this case.
Course.
Clara, you go to write this down, your pen runs out of ink at that exact moment. Like, you wrote down all your notes, you're like, I'll go to sketch, and it just, like, scratches across into the paper, and you leave a gouge. And you just kind of look at this thing that died on you.
She's gonna roll her eyes, and instead, basically dictate her description to Severus in the hopes that when the time comes... she can dictate it back.
Yeah, you describe as best you can to Severus to see if yeah, and also you guys can like share a mental image as well, which obviously helps as well.
Oh, so. That's true actually. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. You try and use Cerberus as a storage device for a JPEG that you hold in your brain. Yeah. External hard drive chimera. And then after that, Clara, do you want to pass out, or do you want to head to the Cuno cabin, or?
No, she'll stay and go to sleep.
Okay.
I am exhausted.
Caliban. Oh, sorry. Uther, you're passed out as well. I remember you saying actually.
Yeah, I got 2 exhaustion levels, man.
Caliban, I have a question. Do you bring the horse onto the train with you, or what are you doing with the horse, Caliban? Where's the whole horse?
The entire horse.
Yeah.
We'll have to reserve a special cabin for the horse.
You bring the horse in. You absolutely can. Like, Axel's too asleep to fucking tell you that you can't bring a horse on this train.
It's a magically conjured horse, so we don't have to worry about about messes or any of the sort.
I think you're right. I don't know you're right. I might roll for that later on, but yeah, a horse.
You could bill me later.
A horse goes into one of these cabins. Dafer and Caliban, are you playing cards like... You were told not to let Adamsir wander the train. He's probably in the communal room. Do you want to put him in his like own room, or would you like to keep him in front of you while you're playing cards to make sure he doesn't go wandering on? Like, I don't know how you want to...
Can I direct the horse to keep an eye on him?
You probably could, yeah. You're not psychically linked, but the horse is probably intelligent enough to like stomp its feet or make some noise. So yeah, if anyone at any point wakes up, you would just see a horse filling up one section of the like corridor, the narrow corridor between the rooms, if you know what I mean, on the train, and its head is just like looking through a window into a room where the civilian is sleeping. Dafer and Caliban, you sit and play cards for a while. After a little bit, Dylan comes through into the carriage with you. The train having kind of pulled out, and it seems to be picking up speed as you feel the engine swap over from the Crystal engine to like all the hydraulic pipes open up, and you feel the rush of water as the train continues to pick up speed. Dylan comes and sits down and says, sorry about the engineer. Something about proprietary secrets of the train being as this individual works for another company. They wanted to make sure that he couldn't pick up on anything, apparently.
That's fine by me. If you had told me you were just thinking of me having said he needs to be kept as a witness and thus wanting him like kept somewhere very specific, I would have believed you as well. We are not in the best headspace right now. Think about anything.
Guys have been gone a couple of extra days. Is everything all right? Obviously,
I mean,
you look like you've been running for weeks.
we over-fulfilled our mission, and then we over-fulfilled it again against our wishes. And then we had more encounters that we really didn't want to deal with, with an enemy that, I mean, did you ever see a single person with a weapon just turn an entire forest into nothing?
Like an artillery piece?
Yes, just imagine that firing at 100 rounds a minute.
You watch this student engineer sit down and think about some sort of revolving barrel artillery piece as he as you see his face turn more to like an exercise of how would I design that than like the horror of probably what you actually experienced.
You know what? If you're thinking about that, then I don't know. Do you want to join us play cards? There's still some adrenaline to burn through.
Yeah, I'm probably not needed at the front. Our trip to the north went pretty well, as he like picks up a hand of cards and joins you. Says, there were a lot of soldiers and, I think they were called Rangers in the capital. It looks like they're going to try and clear out more dangerous predators from around the settlement or something like that. Seemed busy. We didn't really leave the station too much, but the people that you guys gave us to move seemed like they were expected. A few of those rangers came and took them off to the council chambers or something like that. A lot of people didn't answer questions when I asked, so unfortunately I don't have too much to give you.
Apologies, I just looked up.
What's up?
Oh my god. I just saw the GIF you posted.
Oh, the watchful,
Oh
the watchful horse of observation.
I needed Roach in the previous campaign. Let's be real.
Oh, the horse
I mean-
roach.
I mean, it
you.
can't be.
Oh.
Their situation now can't be worse than it was before. I'll be satisfied with that.
And no, to be fair, even though it was like a military escort, they seemed, I don't know, how would you put it, more friendly than stern. I didn't get a bad feeling from them.
Makes you wonder why there. Was that just them being happy to help, or oh well, no use thinking about it. I'll just wish them the best.
From my point of view, it was either an escort for their safety or getting there ahead of someone else. There was a certain amount of urgency to it. Maybe like they wanted to be the ones to, I don't know, welcome them first.
You might want to repeat this to Clara. I think she has a lot more of a care on what happens to them in the future.
Sure.
than I do, if I'm being honest.
I mean, her homeland. I'm sure she's interested in what's going on there anyway.
Yeah. Fair.
Although I'm sure she writes with her
I mean, on the
family.
face of it, yeah. I mean, on the face of it, it definitely looks pretty nice. Helping mistreated refugees from Trithmir that way.
The place itself is beautiful. It was like being outdoors but indoors at the same time. Obviously, the environment is natural, but the cover is constant. It's like buildings of wood and deep green and brown everywhere. It's a darker place than I'm used to in some senses, but also the light there is all natural. You don't have the weird purplish barrier. That said, I still miss my crystal tablet.
I mean, I'd say the first 4 or 5. And then Dafer remembers that basically our trip started with the visit of the dog, and then his face turns into a grimace, and he just goes, "Actually, never mind. This entire trip has been shit. we had one good thing going. I'll show it to you later. But holy crap, we had one disaster after another. The fact that we actually managed to overfulfill our mission despite that is a miracle."
Sounds like good experience, right? And he like claps you on the back as he lays down the winning hand and then heads back to the front of the locomotive.
I hate you for 2 reasons now. It's no longer.
Those of you who are sleeping off exhaustion, you have the like awful experience of waking up at like 9 p.m., right? Knowing that really you should go to bed in like another 2 hours, but at the same time feeling, if groggy, pretty awake from your rest, basically. So like Clara, Adhira, and Uther, you wake up like with the train in motion. I think Uther, you can tell by ear that the Naiad engine is running, so that you know that you've got like, you're up to a good speed, and considering it's dark, if it's only been since you fell asleep, you're probably miles away from where you started, you know, like a good...
Somebody else's problem now.
Yes, the problem is long behind you. Even if he is like a mortal snailing his way towards you, you've bought yourself a few months, right? Like,
hey guys, is that a plane?
I
Just a
can't
biplane.
believe. Oh, what was his fucking name? Oh, Wolfman.
from another D&D campaign?
Yeah, the Death Knight you sicked on us that just marched his way from one end of the continent chasing our flying ship.
Yeah, I can't remember his name off the top of my head either, but yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I need to
Agravain.
It was Agravain from...
I remember because Hinder was like, "Oh, he's totally gonna show up in this session today." I'm like, "Ah, cool!" And I sat in session, and then credits rolled. I'm like, "Wait a second."
I lied to you, but thanks for showing up anyway.
Like right as my
Demon Minotaur.
right the second you said that.
So yeah, Uther, you wake up and you know you've gone a good distance. Clara, Adhira, obviously you can tell the train's in motion, and it feels safe as you wake up, even if you're a little groggy. I think Clara, as you wake up, Cerberus gives you like a little lick on the face with the bare head, just to sort of like, oh, thank God you're awake. You've been led there still for a really long time, and I thought you may have died. Like, just like licks your face.
I'm going to get up. I feel like the little bits of gold makeup I have are just smeared on my ass. I'm not even going to correct that. I'm going to set the black leather ball on the pillow. Just kind of let it rest there. Take my lamp. Take my scythe. And I'm going to go to the workshop and just start cleaning it out.
Yeah, I guess Dafer and Uther, Dafer having like brought a meal into the main cabin, and having cooked, like I assume you would have made a meal in the last several hours at least.
My question would be what, like, to understand what exactly I'm cooking. What is the most luxurious food stuff that I can have access to? What do I have access to?
The travels well would be like smoked meat, cheeses that could be melted or otherwise turned into a sauce, and like pasta and things like that as well, because you dry that and it would last forever.
Do I have some veggies? Actually, I would still have veggies on my back.
Yes.
So I would take the meat. I would like give it like a small cheese crust around, and add some veggies to that with a nice gravy sauce. And that one I would enhance once again with like a sprinkle of the fairy dust, a fairy spice, simply because this is us. This is a celebration meal, us getting out of this fucked up mission from hell alive.
I'll say in this case, everyone can have the max value temp HP that eats from the meal that Dafer has prepared, as the fairy dust obviously helps, and the fact that it is a celebration of survival, with the best that the train food has to offer and all of Dafer's skills combined. Is the max 7 Dafer? I think one is 6. Okay, 6.
1d4 plus 2, or was it 1d4 plus efficiency?
I think it's 1d4 plus prof, which I think means it's 7 now. Did I not? Like in this case, it would be 7. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so everyone gets 7 temp HP if you eat from the meal, which, you know, as you wake up, that smell does drift through to you. Also, Dafer and Uther, you would hear Adhira's, like, cabin door slide open as well, and the sound of, like, accidentally bumping the huge scythe against the door frame as she moves out, you know, still slightly groggy, but going about a routine of needing to make sure her weapon's working.
Oh dear.
Sorry, who right, Adhira is going about. 1 second, Adhira? Before you leave for the workshop, at least take 1 bite of this, and I'll like have essentially like a fork with like a slice of like the cheese encrusted meat, like on like
I think
piped on a fork, and hold it into your face.
Like a we know in cartoons when things are like pies are on windowsill,
they drift.
And the smell like sort of like beckons, like I think it's sort of like that. Like I feel like you catch it here, where like half asleep she realizes, oh, food.
What do you want to do? Do you like lean the scythe up against and like, I'll deal with this later, or do you want to like take a bowl with you, or?
I'll take a bowl with me.
Okay. Having been enticed in by the first forkful, you end up grabbing a bowl and some cutlery and moving off with it as well. Uther, waking up now, smelling the food, seeing Adhira walking past with like a bowl as she goes past the little like window, like it's like a glazed window on the door, so you can see shapes but not actually what's going on. You just see the shape of Adhira and the smell of food drift past.
I'm going to the common area where the food is.
Yeah, Uther kind of shuffles in, joins Dafer and Caliban. The cards having been swept to one side, bowls of food out on the table. Clara, similar thing going on, as you can hear the shuffling of the activity of individuals now, smelling food, seeing Adhira's, like, the white coloration of her outfit kind of drift past the hazy window of your door. You see her shift past towards the workshop.
Yeah, I'll go pick some food up.
Clara, you drift into the main space as well. Axel seems to still be asleep at present, as far as you can tell. Like, you could probably softly hear the snoring from his room coming through, like, the 2 layers of doors as he's, like, just dead asleep. There's just, like, the occasional snore noise that comes from his room.
The old man can't stay up for a month straight anymore.
Sit down eating the food. It's obviously very nice. You get the 7 temp HP. It's robust and flavorful. The sun is beginning to set again, and you're seeing the stars once more. But it's, you know, that view of stars as it's whizzing past, and trees keep sweeping past the outside window of the train as the terrain is moving quickly past. The noise of the engine is basically nothing. Most of the sound of the train comes from the shifting over the tracks, the like occasional bits where it's nail joined together, where everything goes as it shifts from like one elevation to another by like half a centimeter moving along. Is there anything you'd all like to do in particular? Obviously, Adhira, you're working on your scythe. Is there anything you guys want to catch up on, or?
like we have no one second. Do we have holding cells for miasmic metals? Or like I know there were potentially holding cells for miasmic creature cage thingies. I'm not sure if we have them on this train right now.
So this train is mostly like a couple of cargo wagons, because that was being used to move stuff for the school up into Heaven's Pillars, and then the carriages you have, because because the train was being used for a purpose by the headmistress, there wasn't much of a choice to bring anything else with you. So there's no specialist facilities, unfortunately, Dave, for just the normal facilities you have.
We could find a box to throw this stuff in, and no one on board's going to mess with it.
The workshop would still have like locked hard lockers and things like that for storing, various materials. It's not specialized, but it's still protective.
Yeah, I mean I think the biggest worry I have is other people getting Sister Everest's kind of insanity idea. So it's mostly trying to get it secure from other humans.
Yeah, you lock it away to remove any weird esoteric temptation or otherwise. As Dayfra stands up and moves the metal out, Dylan comes like a couple of seconds later and like opens up the door and is like, I can smell that from the locomotive room. Is there a bowl for me?
Say I would have at least prepared some for some of them. I'm not sure I can make enough food for the entire train team, but like at least for some of the people we know, I've calculated them and done here for him.
He takes like a couple of like ladlefuls and puts it in a bowl, sits down. I think Clara and Uther are in here now that he hasn't talked to before, and just says, Caliban and Dafer filled me in. Sounds like you had a rough week.
We've definitely had better.
At least it wasn't the bone spirit.
He raises an eyebrow at you at that.
I hear just the mention. I have like a sixth sense for that. I'm like, fuck that thing.
Dafer's gonna end up with a weird phobia of fey spirits by the end of this. You've got like bones and dogs, both bad.
The leather ball.
And one summons the other.
Resting on the pillow in my room just sort of wobbles slightly.
It appeared to be cool.
I think if we had any two of our mission objectives occur in one mission, it would have been fine. But once we got on the third or fourth sub-quest, yeah.
He nods. While eating, he'd look up at you, Clara, and say, oh, I mentioned to Dafer before, but he said that you'd probably be interested as well. The individuals on the train that we picked up from Amaraj, they were greeted by some rangers at the station, took them off to the council chambers, as far as I understood. They didn't answer too many questions. They seemed to be in a hurry with them.
I'm not surprised.
It also sounds like they're trying to clear out space around the main city, the capital that we went to. There's soldiers and rangers working together on clearing dangerous predators. They didn't mention anything about miasmic, but I guess you guys have some pretty nasty wildlife, huh?
Yes, but unless things have changed significantly since I left, there's always been ways of dealing with them. People of Heaven's Pillars, we've relied on some of those animals, esoteric and dangerous or no. If they're starting to get rid of them, something's gone very wrong.
Dylan sits and thinks for a moment and said, from what I heard from some of the soldiers stationed there who are more willing to talk to me, they're trying to expand the ground that people live on. They said they needed to clear out dangerous animals in order to sell property to some of the locals there. Give them spaces to build homes and the like.
I need to clarify this, and believe me, the words that are about to leave my mouth have no bearing on you, you're just a messenger, but that's absolute bullshit. What they're trying to do is expand into my homeland. These trees and places, they'll be dug up and flattened. They'll be replaced by some high-rise skyscraping tower for when some pompous idiot comes to visit. They're not really looking for places to expand my homeland. They're looking for an excuse to take what's already there.
I will say the mood of some of the Rangers was dour, the local military, but I thought maybe they were just upset about being integrated into something, more rigid. They seemed flexible. You would know better, Clara. Things were definitely... It was busy there. Everything was moving.
Thank you. I've got some work to do in that area, apparently.
Nuts. Either way, the people that we moved, it seemed they were treated well, if hurriedly.
That's good. I'd rather it that way than the reverse.
He'd repeat the fact that the reason for keeping Adam Seer sort of away from other sections of the train is because of the proprietary tech that's built throughout the train. That's what the dogmatic automotive engineers told him, and he's not sure how much authority they technically have, but doesn't seem like too big of a request anyway, as far as he can tell.
It's understandable.
Nods. Puts the bowl down, having finished his food, and says, I better get back to the front. I'm enjoying keeping a monitor on the speed we've picked up, seeing how far we can push this thing.
Just don't exhaust the spirit so that it decides it doesn't want to help anymore.
If this is what it loves doing.
He nods and says, it does seem to be happier the faster we're going. The problem is it keeps using up the water tanks. A little bit too excited, I think.
How do we way around that?
Probably. This is the first generation of tech. There's always problems with it.
Something to passively draw in moisture from the air.
Sounds like adding more water tanks.
Makes the train heavier.
I mean,
Dimension
that just
returns
gives it
after so far.
more of a chance to flex its muscle.
I'd have to do some math on that as he picks up a pad of paper, moving along, trying to work out how much weight he could add before it became a problem to getting the thing moving in the first place. He wanders off. Adhira, give me a Arcana check with advantage. You manage to get your scythe back in proper working order. You're tired, but you've been thinking about what you needed to do your whole way here. So in the end, it's more about, I have the tools, I have the gear in front of me. You clean it out, you replace the parts you need to. Your scythe folds properly, open and closed again. It's in full working order.
She sighs, sets the screwdriver down, and looks over to the lamp that's sitting on the edge of the table. And after a few moments of silence, says, I don't have a proper answer, but I can't judge you.
You hadn't noticed, but Terminus had left the lamp already. The small frog form is like across the other side of the room, looking, just looking around as he turns and kind of gazes over at you and says, "Judge me for what?"
You shared something personal in the monastery, and you seemed shamed by it.
I've been around for a very long time, Atira. I think it would be strange if there wasn't something I was ashamed of.
Well, true. We all have something.
He hops up onto the desk and says, what if you didn't need to be like everyone else? What if in all your life you would never have something you were ashamed of? Would you want that? Or would you feel different because of that?
Like if I never felt guilt for something.
Not guilt, or maybe guilt. I don't know the exact words or feelings I mean. If you could, I don't know, get rid of it, would you?
I'm not sure. Part of me immediately says yes. Move as freely as I wanted.
But not...
Another part of me wonders, what would I be giving up that I don't know? I'm not someone who's quite perfect with... She uses the lampshade word for introspection.
Thanks for a moment. Says, I think these memories that I have of mine bring me more pain than they do benefit. Do you feel that way as well? Like, I know it's not all pain and all benefit, so there has to be one that you think is more, right?
Do you have a stat for persuasion, Terminus?
Would you like him to make a persuasion check? Is that what you're asking?
I would like him to make a persuasion check.
25.
That's gonna fucking do it.
Jesus.
There is one. I was moving around a few nights ago, or weeks ago. I can't remember, but right before I came back into my body, I thought I saw something. And in a moment, I remembered something that happened when I was a kid. Something that I did.
Something you wish you hadn't ever remembered?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for what?
Just being honest with me.
Well, you are the definition of a rotten bastard, but so am I. And you're my friend. I know you spirits don't like terms like foes. Don't operate on the same level.
He holds up a hand and looks at you here and says, I am your friend. And I don't think you're nearly as rotten as you believe you are. I don't think you deserve to suffer. I truly wish you had only happy memories.
Well, yeah. I hold on to the ones my mom gave me, at least.
Yeah.
A little better.
You do?
A little bit. I'm also tired, so...
You should take your bowl back before you fall asleep.
Right. I will pick up the bowl and briefly leave to get that out of the way.
Leaving the lamp in that space, Terminus pulls the knife from your memory out of the lamp and looks at it and says, "You're not needed anymore." And it rots away into nothingness. And Adhira, you no longer have any sense of the details of that old memory of yours, only the edges of it, remembering the street and remembering something afterwards and remembering a pit in your stomach, but not anything about what happened that day.
Okay. I feel better.
And then he sifts himself.
Don't know why, just feel better.
Sifts himself into the lamp. You said you feel better. Axel eventually wakes up somewhere closer to like around midnight. Maybe some of you have like fallen asleep again by now. I'm not sure who's up in the main room when he comes in and finds like a cold bowl of food for him that he picks up and sits down. Still up, Dafer?
Dafer would try to stay awake and keep something warm for him, just because he absolutely deserves it, having like gotten us out of there alive.
Yeah, he sits down with the like kept hot, sort of like not fresh but still decently warm as it, you know, fills his stomach. Sits down. Says, how long was I out?
A while.
Days or hours?
Hours.
Okay. He like wipes his face of the sleep and like the grime of having been exhausted.
No, Axel, you've been asleep for a month. This is the next mission.
Please, no. I've got no idea what waits for me at the academy.
Alright. You have Clara for the paperwork.
No, Clara's got paperwork to do as he stretches. Not all of it, of course, but at least the worst of it.
That's vile.
I still do the report on the mission. It's just all the fucking requisition and approval forms. I hate that stuff.
Speaking of reports, I assume we're keeping the cult off the report.
No, I'm going to include the astropath, but I'm going to leave out the encounter with this scourge creature and the metals. going to hand the metals over to Elias.
All right then. So we're keeping that. Black Dog stays on the report, if nothing else, as a warning to anyone else.
I think that's an important note for any other student or otherwise that might be heading that direction for whatever reason. Yes.
What about the masked people? Does that stay on the report, or we just pretend we don't know nothing about that?
No, I think we can include the report that they were sent to Heaven's Pillars. We'll leave out the full involvement of our group, just the fact that we negotiated it. I don't think they need to know that Clara won a shooting match, although perhaps it would be funny to watch them read that part.
I'm just wanting to make sure
Our stories align, yes.
Yeah, because
there are some bits and pieces of our journey that maybe the main council of judges doesn't quite need to know. I think the most important part is we mentioned the paladin activity in the area and what they're doing. It's starting...
Paladin activity, whatever the hell your friend was.
They're one step ahead of the main council at every turn. First, sending messages throughout the Crystal network and dropping off messages seemingly out of nowhere in the districts. Then pulling all their attention to the main train lines heading into the city, only to actually hit airships moving to and fro the outer fringes. They know our systems. They know how people are going to respond.
I mean, we know that the council's compromised. The council is compromised with the local gang activity. Of course, it's compromised with the crazy terrorist organization.
You think it could be that there are some members of the council that are aligned with the paladins. I wouldn't be surprised, but I think more so. These are ex-EKs, seemingly back from the grave. They have an intimate knowledge of how we respond to situations. They're playing the council perfectly, making them respond to what they think is going to be the threat, only to move what the threat actually is. It's going to be difficult to contend with them, to the point of I'm not sure what purpose there is in us as EKs doing so until we can understand what the hell they actually are. Whatever has happened to my old war friend, he's very much the same and different all at once. The whole time we're being pursued, there was a callousness to the man that maybe it's just because I was on the other end of the conflict from him this time, but he was always someone who looked out for the next generation. He taught me a lot. But the way he dealt with whatever that encampment was, whether they were poachers or not, it was cold. I don't know. I doubt most of them even woke up before they knew what was going on.
I'm not sure how we even go about getting information on this group without just lucking into being able to capture one.
Well, there is one downside and one upside to us having identified that Stryker has abilities like Andrus. Downside being he's more dangerous now. The upside being there is likely a record of prophecy somewhere that we can track back to them.
When did I know Adhira isn't fair, but when did Stryker go missing?
Years ago.
How many?
3 to 5, something in that sort of range at Hira.
5 years.
So, I've heard people talking about prophecy. It's never been something I've been keeping up with. Is that just something like if you're there and hear it good, someone knows, or is there something that tracks this stuff?
There are plenty of organizations that track prophecies. There are some in public archive that can be looked up. The more dangerous ones are usually sectioned away by the council. However, Lerman would have access to those records. It is possible we can find a way to leverage that connection to either have them look into it or maybe ourselves be allowed into the vault in order to look through it. The Sage database will have a record of the public ones. It could be in there, but...
Never used that thing.
I've never used it myself. I've heard that it responds to you. You think about what you want to know about, and it doesn't just give you the information, so to speak. It sort of takes you on the path to understanding what you're looking for. It might give you some seemingly unrelated articles at first, but eventually as you keep reading, you start to understand that it was necessary groundwork for the further inquiry that you had. A lot of people swear by it.
Sounds like a decent idea to throw some a decent spot to throw some ideas at.
A good place to start. There's also the combat tournament coming up in a month and a half. You guys need to start thinking about how you want to represent yourselves.
We just survived being almost shot to pieces by somebody, I don't know, that could have actually put us over his knee anytime had he gotten into range. And we're thinking about a friggin' tournament now.
You're still students. You still have to compete in your education. You still have jobs after this. You need to think about your future.
The timetables on this and the whiplash on like the situational differences is brutal.
Your class is an odd size, which makes things difficult. That said, the tournament's broken up into 4-on-4, 2-on-2, and 1-on-1, so you might be able to rotate in and out members of your team as needed.
Would make such a weird format.
He shrugs.
Caliban would be an absolute monster in the one-on-ones, though, I think.
Certainly hard to unhorse. Why is there a horse in the corridor, Caliban? As you laugh.
I was about to bring up the horse.
It's just like next to him.
In the room.
Address me.
Fuck, I was gonna... you bastard.
Well, somebody had to keep an eye on Adams here.
You use the horse for guard duty. I mean, I suppose everyone was tired. Fuck. I guess it makes sense.
No, I was just lazy. Dafer was also lazy.
Dafer
Dafer
cooked. As he looks at you, Caliban, as he raises another warm spoonful into his mouth. It's like, nice fucking try. He looks...
I was being held not like in captivity, but like under sort of like weird like little house arrest stay right here. I opened the door and there's just a horse just sort of slowly like turned to face me. I would close that door and stay exactly where I was.
Very good intimidation tactic.
Axel reaches into his pocket, pulls out this like scrumpled little note with like the East Academy like colorations on the outside, and writes down a note for you being in detention after your first day back at the academy and hands it to you, Caliban.
We can get detentions on away missions?
I can give you detention whenever the hell I want, as long as I still have some of this paper left in a pen.
Atira, you have heard your job.
This is for being lazy and designating your work to a horse. A sentence I never thought I'd have to say out loud.
Where's the game that gives you $20 for a new sentence?
What I'm hearing is you get detentions for horsing around.
For horseplay.
You're if this food wasn't warm, you'd be there with him, Dave.
We did our job. Well, the horse did my job.
You're gonna dismiss the horse whenever we don't need it anymore, okay? Takes up too much room in the corridor. It's a tripping hazard, and if there was an attack, it would be difficult to get past.
At least it's not as skittish as a normal horse.
Yes, the fact that the horse is intelligent helps. If there's a river flowing through the train, we have a different problem, Dave.
Yeah.
I think you see the stream of jokes begins to as it breaks away from the stress, you can see that it's almost like an overcompensation, but you can see Axel's back to himself in some sense as he eats and leans in the corner looking out the window at the light reflecting back at you guys in the carriage with him. So he's both looking in the distance at what's passing by and in the reflection at you guys in the room, smiling and laughing, and that you're all okay.
Also note that the fact that he got almost shot at less than 24 hours ago and still got a detention today just points out at how brutal
this academy is.
School is. Dafer says that out loud.
We will... I have to get up pretty early in the morning tomorrow, so I think this is a good place to end the session. But we will pick up next session with you guys having done the journey and arriving back at the academy.
Finally.
I believe it's going to be a Saturday morning, Dafer, if you want to mark it. It's the... I think it's the 1st of July when you guys arrive back. Yeah, 1st of July.
I mean, I am on a Thursday night I assume this was a night, during the talk. So,
I have it noted
I might need to reconfigure something somewhere.
Yeah, well, it's the 29th right now when you're talking, and it's 2 days travel, so you'll arrive back on the 1st of July. So that does line up.
Not quite, because strictly speaking, it's the Friday is the next day on my calendar.
Oh, okay.
It should have been Wednesday.
We've lost a day somewhere, but yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Either way, that seems like a good place to end, and we'll close the session there.
We're starting off with detention.
We're starting off with you in detention, Caliban. That's right. That's the first thing.
Sounds correct.
I will snitch on the fucking frog later.